It is going to be difficult. I know. I mean, my guess is it's going to be just straight attack. They're going to be mostly personal. That's the only thing he knows how to do. He doesn't know how to debate the facts because he's not that smart. He doesn't know that many facts. He doesn't know much about foreign policy. He doesn't know much about domestic policy. He doesn't know much about the detail.
Joe Biden with Stephanie Ruhle slamming President Trump as he prepares for their first face-to-face debate Tuesday night. Joining us now is Joel Rubin, president of the national security and foreign policy firm Washington Strategy Group, and a former deputy assistant secretary of state under President Obama. Welcome. So listen, millions of Americans will tune into the first debate on Tuesday, moderated by Chris Wallace. But given the president's proclivity for performance, are people expecting a show or substance in terms of information provided by the candidates?
Thanks, Arthel, for having me. And I actually think it's going to be a combination. And going to what Bradley said a moment ago, it's definitely going to be a brawl. I think that what we're going to see are shots taken by both sides where Vice President Biden is undermining President Trump's sense of his accomplishments, and President Trump is going after Vice President Biden in a personal way. And it's going to be really hard for the moderator, for Chris Wallace, to keep them on point, which is the whole goal of this debate, which is to show Americans what we're going to get from our next president in dealing with the incredible array of difficult issues that we've got right now.
Yeah, I mean, Biden has to lay that out for the American people, why he is the right president for this time.
Yes.
And if President Trump is planning, Joel, if he is planning on personal attacks and labeling, which worked for him in 2016, listen, given that, as you say, we are in the middle of a pandemic. More than 200,000 Americans are dead due to COVID-19. 51 million Americans are unemployed. There's growing civil unrest. So will, though, the majority of Americans want to hear answers from the president? Why are we in this situation 4 years into his administration, and how will he move us forward?
Yeah, I really do. I think for Americans right now, first of all, it's important to remind all of us that there's not an election day anymore. This is election season. Voters are already casting their ballots right now. So for Americans, they may watch this debate and go out and vote the next day with their mail-in ballot or early voting soon thereafter. And we do want to know what it is that they're going to do. Democrats in particular, we do want to see President Trump directly confronted over his record on coronavirus by Vice President Biden, and to have him explain how he got us into this disaster that we're currently in, with no clear pathway out except for the hope for a miracle vaccine, which could take years for all of Americans to get anyways. So we're going to see a lot of this kind of pushing, and I think there's going to be a lot of direct argument and confrontation. And my hope is that we're going to actually hear some answers. And I think that's where Vice President Biden has an upper hand.
Final question for you, Joel. Is Joe Biden ready to take on the problems that persist? I mean, how would he change the direction and decorum of our country? And could he still be effective with crossing the aisle, which is wider, much wider now, as we both know, and securing bipartisan legislation for the sake of the people? Can he still do that, given the climate of politics these days?
It has to happen, and we have to have a leader in the White House who reaches across the aisle and works with both sides. I think that's why we've seen leading Republican figures, including Cindy McCain recently, and national security leaders across the board, former military leaders, endorsing Joe Biden, saying that he is the kind of person that can engage diversity, can engage the Senate Republicans, can work with the groups across the country that need to be engaged to be brought in together. His theme of healing the nation is something that it basically is his personality. It's what he's about. And it's what even people like Lindsey Graham used to say was the best part of Joe Biden. So hopefully that's the kind of ethic that people will see on Tuesday night, that the fight will be there, but that they'll really see the essence of the man, and both men, and Americans judge for themselves about who they want to have sitting in the Oval in January.
Well, can we talk about it after? Joel Rubin, will you come back and talk to us?
Absolutely.
Okay.